Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Doing our Monday morning Men of the Tribe ruck. We got a team out here this morning, and this time we decided to go full kit, right? But it's good. It's good time to build bonds, relationships, talk about things. You know, guys need time with guys. It's good to build that, and also the exercise and other things that we might or might not do out here that maybe you don't need to know. Anyways, so I know that this topic has been bounced around. I have, and many others, for months now, but it's something that it just keeps coming up, and that's World War III, nuclear war, EMPs, China, Russia. It's all over the board. Just to give you some updates on some fairly current news. Last night, apparently, the United States Marines lost a F-35 stealth fighter jet. Now, by the time you watch this, maybe they found it, but when I left this morning to go on this ruck, still being looked for. You know, it could be, the story could be legitimate, but it does smell a little fishy to me. $80 million highly advanced stealth fighter pilot says that there's something wrong, puts the plane on autopilot, and then ejects. And they don't know where it ended up. I mean, obviously it's not still flying around. I think those things can, on average, only go for a couple of hours without being refueled. And that may even be stretching it. But where'd it go? Did it just go down the ocean? There's no debris. They've actually put out a call to the public, asking the public to be looking for it. They can't keep track of their own planes. I get it, it's a stealth, so it's hard to pick up on radar. But they don't have any other way to track, some kind of top secret, you know, Star Trek kind of way, a little homing beacon to track their own planes. Like when those planes go up, they have no way of tracking them. I don't know. It seems a little strange. Moving on. Taiwan is reporting over 200 Chinese military planes in their airspace. And they said that there are the most Chinese warships ever recorded around Taiwan. Is it a buildup for an invasion? It's possible. What's interesting is, what was it, last week or the week before, Biden said, I don't really think that China has the capabilities to invade Taiwan. I don't think they can do it. I'm not worried about it. Something like that. He said that, you know, China's not going to invade Taiwan. They don't have the capabilities, which is similar type of talk to what he said just before Russia invaded Ukraine. That Russia wasn't going to invade Ukraine. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen, and then it did happen. So is that what we're seeing go on? I don't know. Russia launched, I think, 8 of their heavy bombers yesterday evening or this morning to go on a bombing run. I would say that bombing run has already happened, but these are the big ones. Now don't get bent out of shape. The closest thing that we could probably compare them to is like a B-52 bomber. I'm not saying they're equal to that at all. Don't get me wrong, but it is their big, heavy bomber. Is it just normal bombing or something else going on? Who knows? Bulgaria, I think it was Bulgaria, Bolivia. I don't know. One of those countries with a B that's in NATO claims that they found a Russian drone, a complete Russian drone that had crashed or landed in their country. They believe that it's possibly there for nefarious reasons. If that's the case, or if they can convince NATO that it's true, there could be an Article 5. Ooh. Now, I'm saying all this to tell you that we are inching closer to global conflict. I know that there's so many people, oh, no, it may not happen. I don't know if it will or will not happen. But what I can tell you, that according to history, and history has a way of repeating itself, that when the world and world powers get to this kind of similar place where there is this massive competition of wealth, money, currency, trade, global influence that virtually, as far as I know, every other time in history, there has to be a war. It has to happen. Both China and the United States economically are doing horrible. It's doo-doo. And what helps with economies? Oh, wars help economies. Wars get people out working, money getting spent. Oh, we go into debt horribly, but no one cares. No one cares during wars. So the odds of us going into a war, I think we all understand, are very likely. Had someone the other night on the live stream, maybe it was yesterday. It was yesterday on the live stream. The one on locals. If you're not on locals, you should be. Because someday, YouTube's gonna can me. I'm not gonna be on here, and that's where you're gonna find me. It's $3 a month, folks. Not that hard, not that big a deal. Anyways, and YouTube's, I think, censoring me. The video that I put out yesterday evening, it starts off with me, you know, doing some training with this, has some of the most horrible numbers. I mean, if you look at the comments are like all positive. I've had people send me messages, even emails and stuff. They loved it, they loved it, they loved it. But yet the view count on it, it's the lowest viewed video I've put out in about the last 30 days. Wonder why. Anyways, moving on, before I get off on too many more rabbit trails. Yesterday's live stream on local, someone was asking about EMPs. So I thought I would bring that up now because we're talking about World War III and nuclear war. Might as well throw in EMPs. I am on the fence on EMPs. And what I mean by that is I personally think that remember I just said that if EMPs are what science tells us that they are, then they are the perfect weapon, especially for China. Especially for China. China makes most all the microchips, especially if they have Taiwan, all the gadgets and stuff. They could do in cooperation with Russia, with some of their subs. And, you know, if they put up 6 or 10 nukes into our atmosphere, they could completely fry the United States and make it much easier. Sit around for a year and let 90% of our population die off, which is what the studies show, that in a year, 90% of the population. Crazy guys up here. They work me hard, you know. You think that I'm supposed to be the one working them hard, but I have a hard time keeping up with them sometimes. Anyways, an EMP, if it works out like they say it could, it would be the perfect weapon. They don't have to drop any bombs. Most of the population dies off and the infrastructure is left. And they make all the stuff that needs to be replaced that an EMP fries. So they just come over here, take over, and force the remaining Americans to, you know, replace all the microchips and stuff, and everything works again. I know I'm overly simplifying it. On the other hand, do I think an EMP will happen? Man, I don't know. Because here's why I think. It's not, I mean, it is, but it isn't really provable science, because there's only been a few times that big EMPs have ever happened, and they were kind of not intentional with nuclear warhead testing. And I wonder if both sides are so, you know, we can't, like, how do you test them, right? You can't test them wide scale. And it's one of those things, you had better get it right the first time. If China and Russia launched EMP attack on the United States, they better get it right the first time, because if they don't, we're probably going to turn their countries into a glass plate. And I think they know that. So that's why I wonder if EMPs will ever actually be used. I think they're the perfect weapon. But I'm still on the fence of whether anyone feels confident enough that their technology is perfected to the point that they could use them. So there's that. Nukes, we know how nukes work. The Chinese and Russians are kicking our tails when it comes to hypersonic weapons. We don't even have anything. We're just now trying to develop systems to defend against hypersonic weapons. And It came out this past week that China's shipbuilding capabilities, and I know everyone's like, oh, but they don't have the good ships. I get it, but their ship capabilities are 200 times faster than the United States. So if they can build one of their average ships, or even better than average ships, at a rate of 200 times faster than we can build ours, even if they're not anywhere near as good, they could overwhelm us very quickly. And I think that's part of the game. So I guess the long story short is that, yeah, I believe we're already in World War III. I think World War III is already happening. It's just not the kinetic point yet. I believe it's soon. Tucker Carlson believes it's going to happen long before the next election, so that it will interfere with that. I tend to agree with that, along with the pandemic and an economic collapse. You put a bow on it, and you got the Great Reset, Agenda 2030-21 beast system on a platter. So I think that we need to be really taking this kind of stuff serious and preparing. What are you doing to prepare for EMP or nuclear? It's possible that either one of those ones won't directly affect you, but it's the reaction, the people, that you really want to be concerned with. And you better be coming up with a plan. If it's to secure certain things, electronics, especially comms, have some way to bury them, or Faraday cages, and then ways to protect your family from a nuclear fallout. You better be doing it, because it's getting more and more likely of a possibility. Anyways, I'm gonna catch up with these guys. They've gotten a bit ahead of me, and they give me a hard time when I fall back to make the video, and then I don't catch right up. So I can't let them look like they're doing better than me, you know. All right, folks, need to be getting your houses in order. Get down doing this kind of stuff. Make yourself breathe like I'm breathing. Push yourself to the limit. Make yourself feel your age. Find out if you can do it or not. And get yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared. Folks, thanks you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.